Hi, we're back with Josh and Danny to just discuss some property market news. Halifax commented that UK house prices had risen for the third month in a row at the start of April. However, Nationwide seemed to think that there was a drop between February and March. What do you think?
Bit of both, really. No, it's a difficult one because we're seeing a lot of different sort of scenarios. So at the higher end of the market, we've certainly seen a bit of a drop off because there's less people out buying, there's less people who are willing to offer the money that certain clients are after at that level. Whereas at the lower end, we're still seeing a lot of first-time buyers out there. We're still seeing a lot of people who are downsizing from the bigger houses to these smaller houses. So the market's big for them. So we're seeing them maybe coming up. They're definitely steady, possibly coming up, but definitely not going down.
Good. Josh?
Yeah.
What he said?
Yeah.
Just going to let Dan do all the hard work today, or?
Standard.
First time
Yeah.
confident.
So true.
Yeah, no, I echo that. It's the top end of the market is still struggling. People are still coming to terms with cost of living.
When
and
we're saying
interest.
top end, can we have some context? 5 plus, 6 plus, 7 plus?
Well, it depends where you are. I think top end is anything north of 500 personally.
Okay.
The lower end of the market, 3 to 4, I say 3 to 450 is flying at the moment, and they'll end up having to buy somewhere, so that will catch up on top end at the moment. But I think that part of the market's expectations are still yay high, and they're yay low at the moment.
Oh dear.
So-
We need a yay middle ground, don't we?
It'll catch up.
Good one,
It'll
Jez.
catch up. But it's not as doom and gloom as the press would say. I would think.
Good. And so tips for buying a house right now, let's focus on people buying at the lower end of the market rather than the north of 500. What should they absolutely be doing before they put an offer in somewhere?
Follow me on Insta.
You're not here to plug yourself.
No. Well, naturally, the first thing you need to do is sort out your finances. So if you're a cash buyer, lucky enough to be a cash buyer, then sorting that out and getting everything sorted so it's available. Or if it's mortgage, getting your agreement in principle sorted. I think you also need to be scanning the market because it is so competitive at the lower end. Keeping on top of it yourself as well as speaking to actual agents to see what's coming is going to be a really good idea.
Yeah, I think. Excuse me. I think moving forward, it's going to be building a relationship with an agent is going to be mucho importante because the good stock will always sell, regardless whether in a good market, a bad market, an up, down, or or whatever market. The good stuff will fly. So building a relationship with an agent who is going to give you first pick, the good stuff will still not make it to Rightmove. So it's going to be important to get that. That's still going to be forefront. I think as well, just brains going here. The argument, the chicken egg is: do I list first or do I find a house first? I got so many people at the moment who are out like, oh, I really like this, but I need to get my house in the market. You're going to miss out.
Yeah.
You are still going to miss out. Get your ducks in a row, list, get a buyer, and maintain. It's going to be the agent's job to say to that buyer, look, thank you for your offer. We're happy to accept it. Give us some time. We'll go off and find a house.
Yeah.
Because you need to get to the front of the queue and waiting. You're going to be at the back of the queue.
You're at the bottom of the pile,
Yeah.
unless you get on the market, get sold.
Oh, bottom of the pile.
Bottom of the
That
pile.
sounds rough, man.
Love to help
It's
you,
not a good
but
place to be.
if you're down there,
Gotta
can we
get
do?
back up.
How serious are you?
Are more people downsizing? Or as a lovely lady called Maureen in one of these articles says, right sizing?
I like that.
Right sizing.
Yeah, because she was basically saying that they're in their 70s and her husband were living in a big house and they moved to a flat. They live somewhere else. And the kids were like, no, why would you do that? And they were like, well, it's right for us. We're right sizing. We're not downsizing. Thoughts?
I'm not a fan of right sizing personally. I think that's
Why? It's
I quite like that.
adorable.
no, I'm not a fan of that. But
Why?
yeah, no, there's definitely more people downsizing. There's definitely more people downsizing. I think with again cost of living, with
But that's why it's right sizing, because they're making things right, aren't
I
they?
don't like right sizing.
They're making it work more.
DFI. Don't force it.
Yeah,
Don't
totally.
force it.
All right. We'll leave that in the article.
Yeah, I think the elephant in the room, cost of living, is having an effect on everyone. So if people have the facility to right size,
I think you got the facilities for that big man.
2-2. Yeah, makes sense. If you've got a lot of people who are living in, 4-bed, 5-bed attached, and their kids have left the house, they're rattling around. I've got clients at the moment who are selling, freeing up that equity, buying a house, and then putting that extra bit of capital into buy to let. So they're downsizing the main residence and getting a bit of income off the rest of it. So, and I think part of that element is why the top end of the market has struggled to get going really well this year, is because there's been so much of downsizing. There's a lot more of them on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more stock coming lower than that. So, but the 3 and 4 beds will catch up eventually. But that's why it's been tougher, because people are seeing the squeeze and acting accordingly. But it'll catch up.
Didn't one of your sellers sell as well to go travelling? Dave from Tadpole Garden Village.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
Alvis.
he? Yeah,
Thank you.
Elvis.
Thank you very much.
Are people doing that? Because they haven't been able to do it for years.
Yeah, we've got someone else as well. We had another one in Tor Hill who's very similar, who was, just they wanted to actually go and buy, I think, a motorhome of some kind, to then travel wherever they want to travel. No, not a caravan. Yeah, a caravan. But a nice one. But yeah, no, they want to sell their nice big house to go and be able to do that, free up 200, 300, 400 grand to go and travel, which is what they've wanted to do since before they had kids, which was 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Nice. That is the right size. That is right sizing at its finest, Dan. When is the best time to buy a house?
5 years ago.
Can you elaborate, please? Seeing as we can't get ourselves in a time machine and go back to 5 years ago.
I think everyone always tries to time the market, but it's the same whether you're in a high or you're in a low. If you bought 5 years ago, you would have made money.
Well, that's it. Would that be the same for the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think it will. If anyone could predict a crash, we'd all be rich. But they don't last very long, and 5 years is a long time. So you would have done well. If you would have bought a house 5 years ago, you would have made money. That's factual.
So the message is, don't put it off. Crack on.
Buy now.
Crack on.
Get on with it.
No mezzing.
And what would you say to someone who's worrying about moving because of like interest rates, cost of living? I guess the answer is kind of the same, but
Very similar, yeah. Yeah. The cost
there's
of living
always
is gonna
something to
be-
worry about, isn't there?
Absolutely. There always is. And we speak to countless people all the time, every day. And we always get the same conversations that, energy prices are high, or life's hard, or whatever it might be. But yeah, conversation is exactly the same, that whether you buy now, buy in a year, 2 years, interest rate might be higher.
Yeah.
The
Might be
interest
lower.
rate might be slightly lower. Who knows? It's one of those things that you could wait 2 years, 3 years. Interest rate might be a little bit higher in now than it will be in 2 years, but the house might cost an extra 25 grand. So it's all kind of
Swings
relative
around
to that, really. It's a case of buy now.
So three words if you're telling a buyer to get on with it. What would you say? Crack.
Beep, beep, beep.
If you're appealing to if we're appealing to first time buyers who are like got the money, they've got the AIP, but their mum's like, interest rates are really high. You're going to buy a house, a 2-bed for 225 grand now, and in a year's time it's only going to be worth 140.
Got 3 words.
Go on.
Don't wait forever.
Make the offer.
Well done.
Love
Very
that.
good.
Yeah, love that.
Very good. That's it, James. Thanks.